Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Final Fantasy X walkthrough. So the NPC there should give us a high potion or something like that, which, I don't know, it's something. It gets to the point where if you've done really any leveling whatsoever, that kind of stuff doesn't really matter that much. I mean, there's only a couple of times so far in the game where I've actually used an item in battle. I mean, it's happened, but it gets pretty rare. You end up getting such a huge buffer from all the HP that you get out of the sphere grid that that kind of stuff doesn't matter that much. That and on top of that, I mean, you know, is a really good healer. So, as long as you're not just I don't know, counting on all the save points to restore your health, you should be fine. But anyways, this is Mushroom Rock Road. I do want to point out, I did miss one of the Elbed primers here, so once we get a little bit closer to where it's actually found at, I'll point it out. But I'm not sure if I'll end up... What I'll probably just do is use a compilation sphere, and then, load from an old save, because what that does is it ends up... I believe it gives you all of the Elbed primers, of the ones that you haven't picked up, or I should say it loads all the ones that you've obtained in another game. So if you have all of them in a different save file, it'll basically just transfer all of them and stick them in your inventory. So kind of neat, and that's actually kind of a cool thing, and increases the replayability a little bit. The first part of the game you don't really understand what the Elbed are saying because you don't have any of that primer, so it's almost impossible to tell what they're actually talking about. But as the game progresses, as you get more and more of them, it becomes a little bit easier to kind of make out what they're saying. And then finally, once you pick up all of them, then it's almost like they're just talking regularly, or at least you can tell exactly what they're saying. Here on the what is this? Is this Mushroom Rock Road, I believe is the name of this place? There's a couple of treasures. Obviously, just like anywhere else, you're going to want to speak with as many of the NPCs as you can. And then I would say that the Elbed primer is actually kind of hidden. I mean, I don't know. They kind of all are, right? Some of them are kind of sticking out in the middle of nowhere, and they're pretty easy to spot, but some of them not so much. And this is one of those. And the crazy thing was, I actually looked like I was actually gonna go grab it, and then I just turned around. So I must have at some point forgot that essentially that it was there, or got distracted. That happens. These things happen. Anyways. Looks like I've been hanging on to my overdrives for quite some time.
No problem.
Oh man, I really actually kind of forgot about it. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but Titus gets different overdrives depending on how many you've used. See, he's the one that you don't really want to hang on to your overdrive gauge. I guess unless you've got all of them already. But yeah, so the more you use, the more he'll actually obtain. Orans, work a little bit different. They actually go out off of how many of the spheres that you obtain. They're special spheres anyway. There's like eject spheres, and there's Nebraska sphere and Orans. I don't remember the names of all of them, but that's how his work. Yuna's is pretty cool. It basically just puts your whichever. Basically, it's called Grand Summon instead of just regular summon, and what it does is it just puts your Aeon in overdrive right away. So obviously, it's really good for like Belgamine fights and stuff. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm not sure if you can use those for her fights. I think, yeah, I don't know. I guess don't quote me on that. Something tells me that they start out, or that's not an option. It's just regulars. Again, though, I'm not really sure on that. If it does, if you do, or if you're able to do that, that's pretty nice. But at the same time, if you know when a Belgamine fight or challenge is coming up, you can actually have your Aeon in overdrive mode already, which is what I did for. I think it was the last the last Belgamino fight that we did? Maybe not. I don't remember now. I'm kind of drawing a blank on. I've done 2 or 3 of them now, and I don't remember, you know, which ones.
Let me break the ice.
But anyways, here on the road, let's see here. I would say, so these little mushroom-looking things, those things are kind of dangerous. I really actually hate those. So what they'll do is, if you attack them, I don't know if it's a random time they'll counterattack, but they'll counterattack with something like pollen or something like that, and it puts your characters to sleep. And that's not that big of a deal, except for the fact that it never uses physical attacks, so what it'll do is it'll put you to sleep and then just keep casting magic on you over and over and over. And your characters won't wake up until they, like, basically until it times out. And on top of that, the other enemies here tend to use a lot of magic too. So, you know, even if that does happen and, you know, you're in combat with some other enemies, there's a good chance that they'll just keep nuking you over and over too. So it can get a little bit dangerous. Really, what I like to do, I like to just I either cast a fire spell on them, because ironically they're weak against fire. They cast fire on you and then they're weak against fire, which is really weird. But what you can do is just nuke them really quick with Lulu, and I think with a Fyra, so her 2nd level fire spell, I think that'll always one-shot him. The flying dude, I don't remember what he does. I want to say maybe he poisons you. I don't know. He doesn't. I think he can do a status effect on you. So you don't want to take those guys out. These fire elementals, obviously Lulu again. Bring her in. Use Blizzara or Blizzara? I don't know. Anyways, it's the 2nd level Blizzard's spell if you've got it. I did do quite a bit of leveling on the high road, as well as, I don't know where you call it, the area where Owaka is actually at, and where you can donate to him for the final time. That's actually where I did a bit of leveling at. These little guys, I think he's poison. I think the little iguana looking things, I don't know, lizard thingies, I think they can poison. Not that big of a deal, but annoying nonetheless. Looks like I did leave this guy. So I know one of these fights, I let one of these guys live too long, and it did end up casting sleep. I don't know if I have footage of that or not, but maybe you'll see what I was referring to when I said that they're annoying. What they really are, I don't know. Anywho, Kimahri. So I haven't unfortunately had a lot of footage of. Actually, I kind of meant to not do so much footage in the sphere grid. Maybe now I kind of feel like I should have, but. Anyways, Kimahri is down into the thief path. Obviously, I'm able to steal grenades and whatnot with him. Again, I really like that path. You can choose, you know, whichever path you want. But once you get enough of those level 1 key spheres, you know, after the chocobo battle, there's also one from an NPC inside the Traveler's Agency or whatever that place is. He gives you one. And there'll be more coming up as well, but I really like that path with him.
The presence of a maester and a summoner is great for the troops' morale.
I don't know if I can say that too many. Is it possible to say that?
Thank you for being here, my lady.
I've probably got to that point now. But anyways.
In the end, I wasn't able to stop them, as you can see. But seeing their fierce determination, I couldn't just sit there. So I decided that I would do everything in my power to help them.
Alright, so Shalinda is going to do everything. That's kind of interesting character. In all honesty, sometimes Shalinda is a little annoying. I don't know why. I have no idea. But that being said, she's another one of those kind of good characters where she's like, well, yeah, they didn't really go along with the teachings, but you know, they're still, you know, the Crusaders, that is, are still humans, and, you know, essentially, what kind of person would I be, more or less, without, or if I wasn't helping them. So, another, you know, a good character where you're kind of like, oh, yeah, this person's maybe sees things in a different way, and I don't know. I think that it's always funny. I mentioned actually in the last video there where it felt like or maybe in religion today, there's so many absolutes. Like, you absolutely can't do this or this, you know, or, you know, if you do this, then blah, 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 blah. And, oh, here it is. Here's the fight where my character's gonna stop. So you'll see. Alright, so there, it gets a little annoying there. You can see I'm getting nuked now in the universe, and there's nothing you can do about it. But, I always liked that, there was one, gosh, it's, and I'm gonna quote it and let my nerd shine through, but there's a really good quote from one of the Star Wars. You know, I'm not a big enough fan, I think, to point out exactly which movie it is, but one of the characters says something about how Siths deal in absolutes, and you know, not saying that religious people are Sith by any means, but I guess I just drew some similarities there. And, you know, not everything is in black and white, and I think that's one of the important things that, you know, I guess in any game, or even just in life, you know, things aren't always black or white. So it's not always, well, you know, you do things this way, otherwise you're a horrible person. It's like, well, not everybody believes that, you know, and just because they don't believe the same thing you do doesn't necessarily mean that they're, number one, doesn't mean that they're wrong. Because, you know, there's a chance that you're wrong, right? Chance that I'm wrong. So, you know, it's always good to be able to take other people's perspective, and, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's your actions that make you a good person or not. Wow, holy tangent. Wow. Okay, so that's Final Fantasy X, I guess. Although I will say, so Final Fantasy X is probably one of the ones, especially with the religion topic, that maybe, I don't know if I want to say it's more controversial than some of the other games. Maybe that is accurate, maybe it's not. I guess you look at it however you want. But, you know, the religion theme is it's huge in this game. It's so be it. Boy, one of the core aspects to the game. You know, so I guess those kind of things are going to pop up. So, you know, yeah, maybe it is controversial. I don't know. I love it. I love the game. I think it's one of the best ones, in all honesty. I really like the story. You know, whether or not I agree with all of it or not, who knows, who cares. But, you know, that being said, I love the game. It's great. Otherwise, I suppose I wouldn't be doing a walkthrough on it, huh? Alright. So, for whatever reason, I feel like this time playing the game, I almost feel like my characters are leveling slower. Now, here in the last, you know, this last probably 10 minutes or whatever, I've really been reducing the amount of, you know, pulling characters in and out of combat. Normally, I would, that's something that I would have been doing, you know, and that's just making sure that every character participates in essentially every battle. But you know, for the sake of trying to get this walkthrough going and keep it going, I've been really reducing that. You know, obviously in the last couple videos, I had actually been cutting out a lot of the videos. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing that or not. It ends up being a little, it's not that much work, I wouldn't say, but it is a little annoying. So, you know, maybe I'll just try to reduce the amount of actual time in combat instead. I don't know. I mean, it almost feels kind of similar, at least, or at least I'm halfway there with, you know, not bringing in everybody in and out constantly. And you notice that? So the chick on the chocobo actually pushed me, and yeah, pushed me away from the zone line, so I wasn't able to get across, and I ended up fighting an actual battle here. So thanks, Alma, or whatever your name is. Elma. Maybe we'll get fat boots from this one. I doubt it, but hey, wishful thinking, right? So you can notice here, like Kamari right there just stole a couple of bomb fragments. Those are used for once we can actually customize our gear, as well as teaching Aeon's abilities, and some or all can be used in Riku's Overdrive mix. So, that being said, again, that's just another reason why I really like to have Kamari as a thief. You kind of just get a jump on all this stuff earlier, and all that's gonna really, some of it, yeah, maybe won't come in as handy or, you know, isn't that great, but at the same time, you know, if I'm gonna be using turns on Kimari, it may as well be something useful. All right, X potion, not bad. And coming up here, it's somewhere around here is where I missed that, missed the Elbed primer. It's really close. Excuse me. I don't believe it's down here. The Serene Amulet, that's the only thing that's down there. And that, I can't remember if that's the one that prevents Confuse, but anything that, any piece of armor that prevents Confuse, I would suggest hanging on to. Now, Confuse Ward is obviously not as good as Confuse Proof, but it's something. It's a step in the right direction. And you will notice later on, once that actually starts affecting your characters, you know, once, we'll say like once Waka gets confused or something, that's going to be huge. It's going to be really detrimental to your party. So, you know, again, I mentioned in a couple of the other videos, there's a couple of status effects that are really detrimental to you, and Confuse is probably at the top of that list. Alright, let's head back up here. I feel like, guys, that primer's got to be really clear. Yeah, it's up here and to the left. You'll notice the path, yeah, and I kind of started going that way, and then I just didn't go all the way around. So basically, you need to go around. There's like a little bit of a, I don't know if I want to say a semicircle kind of, but you need to go down that path, and the Elbed primer's hidden on the ground somewhere around there. Which again, I didn't get, so my bad. You know, we'll see what I end up. I'm sure I'll either eventually come back. I'll either have to come back later and grab it, because I've actually progressed to a point in the story now where I can't come back for a while. That is anyway. And so, you know, I have to either choose to essentially not have an Elbed primer. I think it's Elbed primer 10. For the foreseeable future, or if I'll just use a compilation sphere mode from an old save data, which is probably what I'll end up doing. But anyways, we're gonna cut this here. We've got some dialogue coming up. But like, comment, subscribe if you guys want to do. Hope the guys are helpful though. Hope you're enjoying them, and hope you join me for more. All right, thanks for watching.